Hello. How's it going, people? Welcome to the stream. Welcome. Just as Manchester City drop more points. Yes, they have dropped points against Chelsea. 1-1 draw in the end. Enzo Fernandez steals 2 points from Chelsea, and Arsenal goes 6 points clear of City and of Aston Villa. We are here to talk about transfers. We are here to talk about the latest contracts. And of course, we're going to talk about the games as well, because Arsenal have a very interesting schedule coming up. We are looking in a prime position to some degree to win the league. Premier League is not the same as it used to be. City is not the same. Liverpool definitely are not the same. Obviously, you're going to play Liverpool in a few days. We'll see how that's going to go, of course. But overall, it is Arsenal's league to win, and it's also Arsenal's league to lose. Let's be honest, because the only enemy, the biggest enemy, not the only, the biggest enemy Arsenal have in this league, this season specifically, is Arsenal themselves. There's no other way to put it. The biggest enemy for Arsenal is Arsenal themselves, because only way Arsenal actually screw this all up is if Arsenal screw it up themselves. Unfortunately, that's how it goes, and if Arsenal don't win the league, to some degree, there is nobody else to blame but ourselves, especially if we pass this January window, this January season specifically, and we are still on top of the table, 6 points clear and everything. Arsenal have nobody else to blame but themselves if they do not win the league. Let's be honest, because there's no other way to put it. Arsenal's worst enemy currently for this season is themselves. That's how it goes. Big up, people. Big up, everyone. This lovely, what's its face? It is even Sunday evening. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope the weekend has been good to you and you're ready for a new week starting tomorrow. Like the stream if you haven't already. Subscribe if you're new around here, of course. And leave your thoughts in the live chat. Big up everyone. Big up Mubarak. Big up. Arsenal are now 6 points clear. And that is fan-freaking-tastic. Fantastic, phenomenal, just brilliant. Big up Quaja. Big up. 6 likes so far. Keep smashing them, people. Yeah, Terry. Big up, Terry. Our City blow it again. Yes, they did. They should have scored more. They wanted to win. 1 goal these days can be enough, but many times is not enough. So, yeah, this is good news for Arsenal. Big up, Fusion. Big up. Well, it's the most wonderful time of the year. 6 points clear. Big up. Yeah, big 6 points clear. Frauden is a fraud. Yeah, to some degree, but also not. Let's be real. City is not the same this season. City is nowhere close the same that City used to be. Yes, they went on a good run, but they are stumbling a bit at the moment. Guardiol apparently is injured. That's why he got taken off. Same goes with Rúben Dias. With Rúben Dias as well, they are suggesting that Rúben Dias might be injured. Let's see how City fare when 2 of their main defenders are out. Because everyone laughed at Arsenal. Everyone said for Arsenal, hold that, when Gabriel was injured, when Saliba was injured, when Timber was out, when Calafiori was out, obviously. But now they have we have everyone back pretty much. Well, the players are coming back. And City are players going out, obviously. But yeah, we cannot get carried away. Let's be real. As Arsenal fans, we cannot get carried away because Arsenal still have this tendency to shoot themselves in the foot somehow. And at the end of the day, Arsenal is their own worst enemy, no matter how you look at it. So we take it 1 game at a time. We try to stay as humble as possible. We are not, well, let's just say weird. We don't get giddy. Well, some people will. That's 100% true. Me, for example, I will not get giddy until it's mathematically impossible for City to win the league, or we are literally double-digit points ahead of Man City going into, let's just say, mid-April. Until that, I'm sitting simple, I'm sitting chill, I'm sitting calm, and I'm sitting all down relaxed. Big up Wahaha. Big up Hendon. Big up. Good weekend for Arsenal. Rivals all stumbling. Exactly. The thing is, though, remember, a few months ago, this was the same story. We had a great weekend. Arsenal won. Everyone dropped points. And the next weekend, Arsenal screwed it up and everyone gained the points back on us. So as long as Arsenal have learned from that as well, we should be golden. Yeah, 1-1. Pedro Neto should have scored. Yeah, Chelsea could have won the game. So a City, they also could have won the game. Let's be real. Let's not get exactly. It's 6 points ain't enough. It's only 6 points. It's only we need City to drop more points versus Brighton. Not just Brighton, against any team. As long as, to be honest, we are in this position. As long as we win all of our games, we are good. But will we win all of the games? No, we won't. The thing is, though, Arsenal have a stupendous record at home. We are unbeaten still at home this season. Hopefully, we don't get beaten at home this season. And if that happens, we could actually be looking at some trophies at the end of the season. Yeah, they couldn't. They were misfiring heavily. That goal, by the way, by Reinders as well, it was brilliant. 10 away. I think it's a bit less. It's a bit less, but yeah, people, get subscribing. If Foden is spot on, exactly. The bad 22-23 when we were ahead by more points, exactly at this stage of the season, and we still blew it, exactly. The only drawback to all of that is the league is weaker than it was then. City are much worse than it was then, and Arsenal, you could argue, is stronger than they were back then. At the end of the day, looking at this right now, from this point, compare it to 22-23 season, let's see if Arsenal have learned from their mistakes, what they had that time. Because our season whole derailed once Saliba got injured against Sporting Lisbon. Now, I'm not saying Saliba is going to get injured, but if our players can manage to stay fit, not get injuries, we are in very prime position. It definitely feels like this could be our year. But to start to talk like that, we need more proof still. I need it to be April, May, to even talk about these instances because it's way too soon. January just kicked off. It's transfer window. The season is just midway through, just past midway, and it's way too early for this. Having goal level up against Liverpool is sensational. I didn't watch it. I didn't watch the game. Unfortunately, it was pretty poor performance by Man City. They were also slow and ponderous in their play. Yeah, I think City went out with the thought process that that Chelsea don't have Caicedo. They have Inter as a manager. Chelsea are just gonna roll over, and they didn't. They withheld the pressure. They withheld. To be honest, City was bad. I'm not gonna lie, City were bad, but overall they withstood everything, and in the end, we did it. If Rúben Neves offered to Arsenal, it's a good, and Arsenal need Neves' services. Potentially, yeah, we're going to talk about that in a second. West Ham relegation would be a great one to see. I don't want them near the Premier League next season. We'll see about that. They somehow West Ham pulled the impossible, what it felt like this season. They gave Wolves their first win of the season. Will Wolves kick off from there? Time only will tell. But West Ham definitely not looking great. Big up Ryan. I found an Arsenal pub around me. Never knew about it. It was a lot of fun. Declan Rice world class. It's nice when you have some people around. Spurs 1-1. Yeah, Spurs. Then to be honest, it's Sunderland as well. Everyone struggles against Sunderland, and we are a prime example for that as well. City as well drew to them. But hey, I guess it is what it is. Anyways. Let's do this, people. Let's talk some transfers. Let's talk some contracts, and we're going to kick things off with this. Jurrien Timber, new contract at Arsenal is edging closer at a full agreement between the player and the club. It's getting close. Jurrien Timber is about to sign a better contract and a long-term contract. They are set to hand Timber a bumper new salary, which he deserves. He definitely 100% deserves that. Has emerged as one of the Premier League top fullbacks in the last 18 months. Basically, since coming back from the injury. Let's just put it that way. Arsenal sporting director Berta has made keeping the squad in place a priority, and it makes sense. As long as we keep all of our best players, we can sign players that improve the squad and improve the starting 11. We should be good to go. But seeing Timber getting rewarded for the spectacular performances he pretty much almost every single game puts in, and sometimes even tends to go under the radar at times, he definitely deserves it 100%. Big up, Darren. Hope you're doing well. What a job Keith Andrews doing at Brentford has taken them above Thomas Frank Spurs. To be honest, you know that striker Thiago that Brentford has. Holy moly, will he go for a pretty penny very soon? Either it's going to be this summer or it's going to be a bit later on. He definitely, if he keeps going like this, he will go for a very pretty penny for Brentford. Definitely. That's definitely going to be very, very, very interesting. Let's just put it that way. But overall, yeah. Jurrien Timber is, to be honest, one of the best fullbacks in the league, one of the best fullbacks in the world, I would even go and say. But yeah, signing Arsenal long-term deal, that is what Arsenal exactly need to make our defense solid, very solid, very strong, very resilient, because our back line, the best back line we have, whether you like it or not, is Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, and Calafiori. And Timber has been one of the main catalysts of the last almost 2 seasons, season and a half, as they say, last 18 months, for Arsenal's performances against some of the games where Arsenal maybe looked like there was no hope to hold on even or to win. And Timber, together with Saliba and Gabriel, have basically pulled us out from the depths of the hell. Let's just put it that way. So Timber getting a new deal 100% is something fantastic and something I love to see. Now, moving on to this, Arda Güler. We have been linked with him for a while. We have been linked with Arda Güler for a while, not gonna lie. But yeah, Arsenal apparently are monitoring a potential opening to sign Arda with the belief that a loan-to-buy structure could make a deal possible for the Turkey international, right? However, Xabi Alonso is keen to keep Arda Güler at the Bernabeu and sees him as a part of his plans. Now, I will say one thing about this. As much as I would love to have Arda Güler at Arsenal, because I think he's a fantastic player, I don't see this deal happening. I don't see this deal happening just for the sheer pure reason that it's very evident that Xabi Alonso rates Arda Güler very highly. Madrid fans like Arda Güler, and I don't think and even Florentino Perez likes Arda Güler, and I don't see them letting him go for one single bit. I just call this more than yellow page stories more than anything, because I don't see it happening. As much as I would love to, obviously, but Arda Güler for them is one of their best players. But speaking of Real Madrid, this stuff still doesn't go away. This stuff still doesn't bloody go away. Brazil winger Rodrigo wants to leave Real Madrid amid interest from Arsenal, City, and Liverpool. He has recently ended a 32-game goal drought. To be honest, he didn't play a lot, so it wasn't that difficult. It was hard for him to break it, but it is what it is. And has begun showing why these teams are interested in him. It kind of starting to feel like Arda Güler, as soon as he got the message that he is going, and maybe teams are starting to look away from him just because he doesn't play, he started to score goals, but he also started to get some game time, so it kind of coincides. But I'm not gonna lie, I would love to have Rodrigo at Arsenal. I would love to have Rodrigo at Arsenal, no matter how you look at it. For the left wing spot, I think it could be quite fantastic to have Rodrigo there. Can you imagine for Arsenal to having that? That would be quite fantastic. I can't even speak. Would be quite fantastic. Let's just put it that way. But yeah, having Rodrigo at Arsenal would be quite advantageous for Arsenal, to say the least. A lot of haters in the channel today, I see. Just putting it out there. But yeah, apparently Arsenal are looking at Igor Tyjon. I don't watch Blackburn Rovers. I don't watch him. I have not seen him, so I have no idea who he is and how he is. What he is and what he's all about. He plays for Blackburn. Arsenal want to give Anush some competition, and that's about it. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. Let's just put it that way. Let's just put it that way. But let's just say it like this. This is the one I'm most intrigued in, more than anything we have talked about today. Arsenal hold discussions to sign Rúben Neves in January. And that is something actually I am actually quite for and quite intrigued in, because there is no shadow of a doubt in my mind that Declan Rice needs a backup. He needs an improvement, and then we need some extra midfielders in the team, number 8. Let's just put it that way. So we'll see how that's going to go. We'll see how that's going to go and where it's going to land with all of this. And big up views! Big up views for the, what's it called these days? Raid, for the raid. Big up views for the raid. Big up to you. Hope the hate along and everything, the streams, everything is going fine with you. Hope today it was nice to you. The Sunday was great for you as well, my guy. Go subscribe to views, people, if you haven't already, and hopefully everything's fine with family, with friends, with everyone surrounding you. Hope health is in good situations and all this good stuff. So big up to you. But yeah, According to Caught Offside, which is obviously a bit of an iffy one, but we go from there. Apparently, Arsenal won last summer's wanting to reinforce the midfield after everything bought. But here's the Arsenal looking to reinforce the defense, midfield, and attack still. Jeremy Jacquet, Honest Honor, Davide Beretzegui in the radar for the defense. On the other hand, Arsenal interested in Kenan Yildiz. Well, they want Arda Güler from Real Madrid as Odegaard-style project. This is what it is. It's Odegaard. But for the midfield specifically, Arsenal have discussed the possibility to signing Rúben Neves after being offered the chance to secure his services, obviously, right? The Portuguese international is keen on returning to Europe in January, having played the last couple of years at Al Hilal in Saudi Arabia. He has also offered himself the top teams around Europe apart from Arsenal. Right? The report claims that Neves isn't the only midfield option for Arsenal's wish list. There's also Boadi, there's also Stankovic, who are included. Neves, valued at around £22 million by Transfermarkt, has entered the final few months of his current contract at Al Hilal, so might be able to get him for a bit of a cheap part, and has no intention on extending his deal. So he wants to return to Europe, right? Rúben Neves currently is 28 years old, which should be somewhat prime time for a midfielder, which also is very nice. Arsenal currently have Zubimendi, Norgard, Merino, and Rice as the main options to deploy in the midfield roles. However, the Dane has struggled to find regular game time thus far this season. As a result, Zubimendi has been taking enormous workloads, and that is true. Zubimendi plays every game in and out, left and right, up and down, with no exceptions pretty much, and Rúben Neves definitely could help us with that. As Neves a Premier League experienced player, he would be a shrewd acquisition for Arsenal to support Zubimendi should they eventually opt to secure his service next month. Well, basically this month. So basically, for me personally, I would not say no to Rúben Neves. I definitely would not say no to Rúben Neves if we are looking from that point of view, from that perspective, to say the least. But it is what it is. I'm not sure Arsenal are actually going to sign many players, right, this January, or anyone, that, to be matter of fact, but it could happen. It definitely could happen. That would be actually very, very, very nice. Yeah, Arsenal have spent 110 million on Madueke and Eze and barely uses them. New Toys R Us, basically. Arsenal low-key are Toys R Us. So we'll see. I would give Arteta like 30 or less million. So that basically covers Rúben Neves. That covers Goretzka potential link and everything. We will not sign anyone major this January. If we sign someone, we are not signing anyone major. That is 100% a guarantee, and you cannot expect anything more from that because Arsenal don't tend to do big businesses in January. And I guess we have to make amends with that, unless Arsenal are actually dropping 100 million on Yildiz, but that I don't see that happening at all. Absolutely at all. Big up Gooner SC. Hope you're doing well. Big up, big up, big up, big up, big up. Hope everything's fine with you. Odegaard is a tiny bit better, but that's only 2 games. We need it for extended period of time. But there's no denying that Odegaard in the last few games kind of has raised his level. Saying that, over the last course of the last year, the bar has been set so low that any improvement looks like a miraculous comeback at the end of the day for Odegaard. So we need to see him improve game in, game out, to get goals, to get assists, to look more involved into a play and not just running and skipping around and doing the fidget spinner business. Let's just put it that way. No, thanks for Neves. I don't want Lego head to joking. We need him to. No. Rúben Neves is going to be fine. Trust me. Rúben Neves at Arsenal actually could be fine. But people actually looking up on certain players just because for some random reasons, I'm not for that. Because it goes without saying that Arsenal actually need improvements. Not maybe improvements, but definitely need backups in the team. And signing someone like that would be quite fantastic. I think for Arsenal's depth and everything, it would be phenomenal. It definitely would be phenomenal just because Merino in the midfield is not cutting it for me personally. Zubimendi plays without a break because what's its face? Norgard. It's not the levels. Norgard is more of an El Neni type of player, but basically is a player which basically slots in as the 3rd or 4th choice. So signing Rúben Neves for the team actually would not be bad. absolutely would not be bad, in my opinion, to have a proper backup for Zubimendi, especially since we don't want to play Rice there. Rice is more for us more an 8. I would not be against that, and that means also that Rúben Neves at times could be playing in the 8, where he also has played. So definitely, I would not be against that one single bit. Neves and Rodrigo would be perfect. I still want Yildiz. Yeah. Neves and Rodrigo would be amazing. I don't see Arsenal signing nor Rodrigo nor Yildiz in January. Best case scenario, if we sign a massive left wing, if we sign, that's a big if still, would be fantastic if we did that, and we will do it in summer, no matter what, how that goes. Neves in January is more realistic just because of the price tag and how it could go. He doesn't want to extend his deal, and it's quite evident he wants to return to Europe and get out of Saudi, right? But at the end of the day, we'll see how that's going to go. It's very interesting that many players are kind of running away from Inzaghi, though. Think about it, because Inzaghi himself has refused to register João Cancelo for the team, and now Rúben Neves as well wants out of Saudi. It might be just because he's sick of Saudi, right? He wants to play back in Europe. At the same time, 2 Portuguese players running away from Inzaghi, it's also not a good look. Definitely not a good look from that point of view. Would you rather your country win the World Cup or Arsenal win the Champions League? My country win the World Cup. My country win the World Cup, hands down. I'm not going to lie, because my country in football is as useful as an umbrella on a sunny day. We have qualified for Euros once in our lifetime. That is in 2004. Besides that, we pretty much do nothing. We played the, the national tournament, that stupid one, the Nations League and all this stuff. We barely can beat Andorra and Faroe Islands. We tend to struggle against bigger teams. The lack of quality is showing. Even though it has grown on local level, overall it's still lacking quite heavily. We are like 135th or something like that in UEFA international rankings. So for me personally, I would say my country wins World Cup, because that would be once in a lifetime achievement for me, for my country. And that would definitely go down in history books for my country at the end of the day, without shadow of a doubt. Yeah, I prefer Yildiz too, 100%. Like, let's be real, Arsenal are not, as I said, Arsenal are not signing anyone big in January. At least I don't expect it, because the last time we did it, it was Aubameyang, and that was, almost 10 years ago. Right? So, in my opinion, Arsenal definitely might sign someone, but it won't be anyone big. Now, looking at, for example, Leon Goretzka, who also is on the last year on his deal, last 6 months left, he might be available for a bit cheaper. Same goes for Rúben Neves. He doesn't want to extend the deal. Last few months, he might be available on the cheap. And for Arsenal, that could be the best opportunity to signing someone on the cheap. Maybe a loan deal with option obligation to buy. Maybe we loan him in with promise that we actually going to buy him or something like that. I don't know. I don't actually know. But if Arsenal are going to sign someone, it definitely won't be anyone expensive. Big up New Year, Arsenal. Big up, big up, big up. Welcome. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the show. Hope you're doing well this beautiful Sunday, and hope you have a great week starting tomorrow. I want Ronaldo to lift the World Cup before he retires. I don't think so as well. I genuinely don't think so as well. Portugal have a very good team. They have team to do some noise, but I think they're gonna best case scenario, I think they're gonna go to quarters. I think they're gonna go to quarterfinals, and that's where they're gonna stop if they're lucky. Because somehow in these big tournaments, the Portugal, more specifically World Cups, they tend to drop the ball. And as far as Roberto Martinez goes, as the main coach and the main manager of the Portugal national team, I don't trust him one single bit based on what I have seen from him at Belgium and even at Everton to a certain degree. Let's just put it that way. Messi or Ronaldo, both. Every Bayern player does this to Arsenal. Yeah. That is also the case. Arsenal have been linked with Goretzka pretty much since, he was at Schalke, wasn't he? Like since 2016, 2017, so almost a decade of being linked with Goretzka on and off, depending on which transfer market it is, which is kind of nuts if you ask me. But it's still the case. Arsenal are still linked with Goretzka. And Goretzka is not old, first of all. He has been there, done that. He has won everything there is to win. So, and in my opinion, we don't have enough of these type of players in the team, especially the ones who have played some sort of a major role in their teams to get them over the line. And at Arsenal, we have mostly the players who have won big stuff. They have been somewhat role players. Havertz in Champions League scoring in the final, you could say that, but that's also not it for me personally. That's just that was very lucky as well how he scored that goal. But overall, we don't have enough leaders in the team who have been there and done that. We have players who have experienced it as role players, but they haven't stepped up, in my opinion, enough as the leaders to who can explain and, as Arteta likes to say, transmit the energy of the instances that have been there and done before. Kimmich did last year, and also Thomas Müller. Yeah. Over the years, we have been linked with quite a few Bayern Munich players. Quite a few. And ironically enough, we haven't even signed that pretty much Bayern Munich players. When was the last Bayern Munich player we signed? We haven't even, have we? Last Bayern Munich player Arsenal have signed. Arsenal have signed. Last Bayern Munich player Arsenal. Wait, let's check this. Is there even anyone? I don't even know. Which has been the last player Arsenal have signed from Bayern Munich. Now that I'm quite interested into this. Which has been the last Bayern Munich player Arsenal have signed from Bayern Munich directly, pretty much. Not someone who has gone about 6 years around the world and then has come to Arsenal. I cannot even, on top of my head, it's very hard to even think about one. Seriously. Anyone know this in the chat? Right, let's check this. Yeah, exactly. I don't think we have signed anyone from Bayern Munich ever. That's how I feel as well. Let's see. Has there been a player Arsenal have signed directly from Bayern Munich? Well, men's team, not women's team. So Arsenal's women's team signed goalkeeper Zinsberger from Bayern Munich in 2019. Men's team, there hasn't been a direct transfer from Bayern Munich at all, ever. Arsenal are vaguely linked on and off every year with one, but Arsenal never signed one. It's actually quite interesting when you come to think about it. Yeah, Jordan. Yeah. I don't know if you left yesterday. I didn't manage to get your comment in time. I also left a comment on your latest stream, which you had live. I also mentioned, you asked me, you want to do a preview on Wednesday. What time? What time you want to do a preview? That is also a question, because my time is a bit limited in general when I do these streams. So I also need to prepare for these things. But yeah, overall, not too much to talk about. But if we talk about the league, wait. First things first, transfers. Do you think Arsenal are going to sign anyone this January? Because I think that is the question that gets asked and lifted and discussed the most every January transfer window. Because for me, it's actually quite interesting, because for me, Arsenal don't tend to do January business much. And that's why I'm kind of confused. Will Arsenal do anyone? Sign anyone? Best case scenario might be a loan. But to spend the money, if you can trust the recent reports suggesting that Arsenal actually are quite financially healthy in terms of FFP, PSR, and sustainability and all this stuff, but the fact that we have spent so much in summer that it is taking a bit away from the fact that if we spend in January, it kind of destabilizes our sustainability. I just don't know. I genuinely don't know. Maybe a loan, because we have options to sign somebody on loan. But if we want to actually sign someone bigger in this January window, it might again come down to the we need to sell to sign, which is a very weird instance, which should not be in Arsenal's problem in the first place. We should be able to sign players in general, but we somehow just don't. I see them doing it on my channel. Yeah. Probably not. I think we will sign at least one player this January. Who? Is it a loan? Is it a big player? Is it like an academy player, as Ryan is saying? Could be just an academy player, because Arsenal signed those as well in recent times very actively. I think we have signed more academy players in the last 2 seasons compared to the main team. Like, it's actually very interesting how this goes around as well. But yeah, obviously, time only will tell where this is going to go, because the January transfer window is still open for, 27 days, right? So there is still quite a bit of time, to say the least. There is still enough time. The question is, will Arsenal lag? Because last season, in January, more than anything, we needed to sign someone, and we didn't. And in the end, it cost us big time. Let's be real. If we could have signed that Kvaratskhelia, it could have been actually our season could have turned out to be quite a bit different. Let's just put it that way. But obviously, we didn't sign anyone, and the season went in a downward spiral a tiny bit with all the draws, with struggling to score and create and everything. Definitely, it went a bit downwards. Obviously, we have some infamous Januaries still where we have not signed anyone, but a few years ago we signed the Jorginho, Kivior, and Trossard in one window. We were ready actually to spend 80+ million on Mudryk, right? Thank God we dodged that bullet, because Trossard is much better, but I still believe we need some reinforcements this January. We still need some reinforcements. I'm not saying sign about 6-7 players or 4-5 players. 1 or 2 maybe 1 regular, 1 on loan. That actually could be quite nice. That actually could be very useful for Arsenal overall, because yes, we have players injured. Some of them are coming back. Some of them will be back. But we're going to get some more injuries. That goes without saying, because it doesn't look pretty already that some players are, again, in the red zone, and it's not looking great. People will say that we have backups, we have depth, but do we really have enough depth to some degree in specific positions? Because when push comes to shove, we don't even use sometimes our depth. Arteta much rather just kind of rebuilds the puzzle, playing players out of position a tiny bit rather than playing somebody who can play there. So maybe we need these backups. Maybe we need some more players signed. Maybe, just maybe, let's just put it that way. My gut feeling saying Neves. I wouldn't be against that. Could be Maino on loan, Rúben Neves maybe, something like that. Save it for the summer unless a huge injury. Yeah, you say save it for summer unless there's a huge injury. And last year we had injuries, and we had a huge injuries as well, and we still didn't sign anyone. So it's also not a guarantee that if we get some injuries, right, we're going to sign anyone. That is the case. Oh, we were linked with Watkins, but it didn't feel right in general. And obviously, at the time, they had John Duran as well in the team, and they wanted to offload one of them. And if Arsenal had moved maybe a bit quicker on Watkins, maybe we could have signed him before Duran left, and then Duran would be now at Villa, and we still would have Watkins at this stage. So go figure. Absolutely go figure. But Saka got injured, and we still didn't sign them. Jesus broke down. We still didn't sign anyone. We were linked, but we never actually moved on it. We didn't actually capitalize on anything. Kvaratskhelia was available. We didn't go for him. So not maybe even maybe a huge injury will not do anything. We might return to the last season when the term internal solutions started to fly around. We might actually be back on that horse once again, once we get some major injuries, if we get them. Not saying we will, but if we get them. My dream January is Rúben Neves and a right back. You want the right back still, so Timber backup for. Oh, you think White is not good enough long term, right? You expect that Timber might actually break down at some point, although wouldn't be surprised given the amount of that he plays. And White was back for a few games, played a few games, full 90s, and instantly broke down. So I kind of can see the reasoning behind it as well. Definitely can see the reasoning behind it as well. Our defense, in my opinion, is still only position where I feel the most comfortable in, with our main 4 guys and even our backup guys. Midfield is a very shaky one for me because the drop off, let's just say, from Zubimendi to Norgard, which doesn't even play many times. Zubimendi has such a big workload that it's just a miracle to some degree that he's not injured. Is also not a good case for Arsenal if we are looking from that perspective. Declan Rice already is starting to show some weak sides of injury crisis a tiny bit. Let's see how he fares, if he's going to get better and everything. Because Merino as a backup, again, he's not cutting it for me, because watching Merino play in midfield, it is pain. Like, genuinely, it is pain. A guy looks better at a striker, a position which he doesn't play at all in his life whatsoever. And the one time, he only has played striker when he joined Arsenal. He looks much better there than he looks as a number 9, as a number 8. And that for me spells big troubles. Obviously, we could play Skelly there, but under Mikel Arteta, when Skelly just burst onto the scene, he said that he visions Skelly as a left back. And since we invert from the left a tiny bit, quite a bit, not a tiny bit, quite a bit, right? Skelly is going to be that left back who inverts in the 8. But starting as an 8 and pushing up and inverting from the left to become an 8, for me and in general, are 2 completely different things. 2 completely different things. Robbie from AFTV channel said one of his insiders has told him that Gehi is going to Arsenal. I don't trust these insiders, because the same insider told Robbie that Ivan Toney is going to sign for Arsenal. He's pretty much done and dusted. And then what happened? Toney doesn't even look at Arsenal. He moves to Saudi. There have been lots of these instances where insider information says this, and at the end, none of that happens, and it goes sour real quick. And it all gets messed up. So these insider sources are very, very, very rough ones. And to saying that, even if Gehi joins Arsenal, it's a summer thing, first of all. And we need, if we are going to sign improvements, we need them now. Let's just put it that way. We need improvements now, not in like 6 months. But these insider sources, I don't trust them as much. Somehow, Hand of Arsenal is actually the only inside Arsenal source I trust more than any of them when they talk about insider and trading type of information. But hey, Nick Kyle is not as bad as I thought. Well, he's not bad, but he's not top tier. Let's just put it that way. He's not top tier, but he gets stuff. I would say 60-40, 70-30, something like that. He gets stuff right and wrong. Let's just put it that way, because obviously doing transfer business in general, being a transfer news reporter, it's a very vague thing. Just same goes for also Fabrizio Romano and David Ornstein. As much as they get things right, there are also things they have gotten wrong, because transfer business in general is a very unpredictable part. Hence why when we talk about this, you cannot say kind of everything as a face value. Once you start to hear some wheels moving, once David Ornstein or Fabrizio Romano, for example, say that there's a here we go, it's done and dusted, in the next 48 hours it is done, then you can start getting excited. Once, for example, Ornstein confirms information into this, right, that there is definitely interest, they are talking, they are discussing, you can believe that more than you can believe some tier 2 type of information. Because for me, the top tier information sources, no matter how you look at it, is David Ornstein and then Fabrizio Romano. Everyone on a different level follows after them. Tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, and rest of them falls into that. Your Indy Kylas, your Charles Wattses, and everyone else at the end of the day. The Ornstein is more reliable than Fabrizio Romano. Definitely. For me, David Ornstein covers more Premier League than anything. Most of the time covers Premier League. Fabrizio Romano covers pretty much rest of the world, what it feels like, including Premier League. So if you're looking from that point of view, definitely. Bear in mind, it is a World Cup year, and any player in contention to feature in their national team will not move to a club where they won't be guaranteed star. Yeah, they will want to prove the manager that they can do it. They will do it, and they are ready to play for the main team. Obviously, unless you are someone like Haaland or your Mbappe, who are pretty much guaranteed to play in the World Cup no matter what team you move to, many players are going to take that into consideration. Let's just put it that way. Hence why maybe players like Goretzka, also even Rúben Neves to a very big degree, it's going to be a very risky one. Very, very risky one. Let's just put it that way, because for Arsenal, coming to Arsenal, you need to have a specific type of player to mix with Mikel Arteta well. The last time we signed a Portuguese player, Cedric Soares, Nuno Tavares, and they both have been massive, let's just put it that way, mistakes, for lack of a better word, right? So, and we haven't signed a Portuguese player since. So, would Arteta again take a punt on Rúben Neves? No idea. Because to a degree, we need to look also at this, that no matter whether you want to admit it or not, maybe you can think on that, and also as well, I believe to a certain degree that certain players are, let's just say, Eze is a Berta signing, and for example, Havertz, that's Arteta signing, and all this stuff. There is some stuff to it, because there's obviously going to be these discussions between the sporting director and the manager in the room, and everyone is going to try to convince that their choice is better, unless they both agree on a specific thing. And obviously, at some point, they have to come to a compromise where it's a win-win from both sides. So sometimes, yeah, it's not. It definitely, Arteta, I think, has a bad taste in his mouth with Portuguese players, to some degree also French players. Hence why we haven't signed a French player under Arteta since, pretty much at all, to be honest. And we haven't signed a Portuguese player since Nuno Tavares and Cedric Soares. So also, Rúben Neves will want to play in the World Cup for Portugal under Roberto Martinez. At Al Hilal, he has a bit more guarantee. He's going to have definitely more game time than he will have at Arsenal. Like, that goes without saying, because Rúben Neves is not going to start over Zubimendi. He's not. That already pretty much is a guarantee. Obviously, Rúben Neves already this season in Saudi League, out of 12 games, has played in 11. Started 10 of them, which is already a big saying over that. He has scored 4 goals. And I think he has more chance to get into Portuguese team, obviously playing for Al Hilal than playing for Arsenal, because he will be more on display in the Saudi League than he will be in the Premier League. Although, saying that, he is prem-proven, he knows what it takes, and I strongly believe that he actually could be a very good addition to the team, no matter how you look at it as well. For me, what's a successful season? Premier League, Champions League. One or both. For me, successful season is trophies at the end of the day. For me, winning Premier League, going to Champions League final, it's a successful season. Winning Champions League, an ideal scenario, winning Premier League would be a successful season, because looking at this stage of the Premier League, of the level of the league, how everyone is hella inconsistent, the only team that has managed to maintain some sort of a consistency is Arsenal. I would say that winning Premier League is a must. Champions League as well would be fantastic. FA Cup, Carabao Cup, I will not say no to those. But for me, the successful season will be the big trophies. Because in my opinion, we are kind of past that period where FA Cup and Carabao Cup is enough for Arsenal and for Arteta to be considered a successful season. After all the money, all the players, all the hype, all the PR, all the way we portray ourselves and everything, I think for us, we need to win something massive. We need majors this season. If Arteta wins Prem, would you sack him? He can have one more season then. One more season, no more. If he doesn't win again, just it's done. Like, he needs to win. For me to consider to keeping Mikel Arteta at Arsenal as a fan, right, would be winning Champions League or Premier League. For me, even a cup double of Carabao Cup and FA Cup, as great as it would be, and it could be, it's not enough. For me, after 6.5 years in charge with Mikel Arteta, over $1 billion spent, 6 years trophyless overall, 22 years after winning the Premier League, 30 plus since Carabao Cup, 6 since FA Cup, and never winning Champions League. The big trophies, the two major ones, Premier League and Champions League, are the main measuring stick. Let's just put it that way. Ooh, South Africa 2-1 Cameroon. Big up. Big up, Bukayo Saka fan. Big up. Man City drawing to Chelsea has just made my day. Yeah. Good for Arsenal. 6-point gap from us to City and to Aston Villa as well. Obviously, Manchester City as well at Etihad play on January 7th, which is Wednesday. They play one day before Arsenal play Liverpool. And you can 100% bet your sweet ass that first things first, City will want redemption after the Chelsea debacle that just happened. And they will want to put as much pressure on Arsenal as possible, which means they will want to win emphatically and to make Arsenal maybe kind of question some things before we play Liverpool on Thursday. If Arsenal wins the double champs and Premier League, would you build him a statue? Yes. And this will be very controversial. People will very disagree with me. People might unsubscribe and slur me in the comments. But I would. Because he wins Premier League, first things first, something we haven't done in 24 years. Second of all, he has won us the Champions League, the only trophy that Arsenal has never won in their existence. So yes, I would. That is something that should be immortalized into Arsenal forever. Big up, Beggy. 6 points. Let's not lose to Liverpool, and we're good. We should be good. 100%. 100%. Oh, it's Bukayo Saka's birthday. Big up. Big up, Bukayo Saka fan. Happy birthday to you, brother. Big up, big up, big up. Have a hope City drawing definitely has made it 10 times swear. 100%. All Arsenal need to do now is rotate every now and again, but also stay consistent at the same time. Exactly. And that is the toughest thing to do. Let's be real. Rotating and maintaining more or less the same level with minimal drop-offs or improvements is one of the hardest things you can do. Because we even struggle sometimes with our main team against certain opponents, right? And to rotate some of our main guys on the bench and put in some, like, even reserves or bench players, it takes some skill and it takes some luck as well. But obviously, it goes without saying against teams like Portsmouth, Kairat Almaty, if we play against some lesser teams at home, definitely. Rotating would be very beneficial, and it should be very beneficial for Arsenal, without shadow of a doubt. And we should be doing that, because we cannot rely on the same 11 players throughout the whole 38 games in Premier League, 16 to 20 in Champions League, like 12 in FA Cup and 12 in Carabao Cup or somewhere, like 8 in Carabao Cup. 6 in Carabao Cup. We cannot rely on that. Playing 60 plus games with the same 11 throughout the whole course of the season, never ever gonna work. So rotation is a must, no matter how you look at it. We need rest. We need players regain their strength and energy and everything. And to avoid injuries, we definitely need that. Right now, is Arsenal winning Prem? If you ask me right now, it's in Arsenal's hands, because Liverpool are hella inconsistent. Man City are hella inconsistent. It's not the same Manchester City with Mahrez, with De Bruyne, with Gundogan, the leaders, the main guys who knows what it takes, who can pull magic out of nowhere and get them over the line. They don't have this type of level of players at Man City anymore. The mentality is not at that type of a peak as it could have been. For at the moment, it's Arsenal's league to win. It also feels like it's Arsenal's league to lose. It is not saying that when we are 20 games into the season, right? But no matter how you look at it, Arsenal is the only team who has managed to maintain any way, type, shape, or form consistency in this league. And at the moment, looking at this, it's Arsenal's biggest enemy this season, at least looking at this point forward, is Arsenal themselves. No matter how you look at it, it's Arsenal themselves. Because the only team that can stop Arsenal is Arsenal. Because we have this tendency to shoot ourselves in the foot, get an unnecessary draw or a loss where it should not be happening, like it has happened against Southampton, like it has happened against Burnley, Everton, and teams like that over the years. Bournemouth last year, twice. It's on Arsenal. Arsenal, if they manage to maintain the level and keep winning, we should be good. We should be good. The best thing, as I said also yesterday, Arsenal right now, in the course of this season, as far as it has went, Arsenal are writing last season's wrongs into positive light. Arsenal are turning last season's draws or losses into wins, more than anything, which obviously is helping Arsenal to maintain the level, to be up there. And the more we keep doing that, the more with these draws and losses we suffered last year away at Bournemouth, at home at Bournemouth, against Everton, Crystal Palace, and all these teams, the more of these draws we turn into wins, we should be good to win the league. Provided we maintain also the winning, we get the same wins as last year, which was 20. And out of the 14 draws, we at least 7 to 9 turn into wins as well. That is extra 14 to 20 points. If you add that tally up, it should be enough for us to win the league. It should. Because based on the league right now, the way teams are playing, the way that their games are going, how inconsistent everyone is, I don't see them catching Arsenal up if we can maintain the same level. Because to win the Premier League, you have to be consistent. And the team that is the most consistent team in Premier League in terms of wins, maintaining the level and keeping going on and on and on and on without massive drop-offs is the one that wins the league. Yeah, at the moment it looks like that. Arsenal must win every single game and pray Man City drop points in some games. Well, as long as Arsenal win the games from this point forward, pretty much every single one, we should be good. We should be good. It's Arsenal's league to win, exactly. It's not Arsenal's to lose, but it's Arsenal's to win. And Arsenal's worst enemy are themselves. Keeping the clean sheets is getting harder these days. Yeah, it is. But that is also was a guarantee. Arsenal are not going to keep clean sheets every single game, pretty much. It was also very evident that in the beginning of the season, half of the fan base were screaming that we're going to beat the Chelsea's defensive record. I said instantly, it's not going to happen, right? But it's already we are there now already, and it's still 20 games to go almost. Like there are some levels to this. Big up, just random guy. At the game, I was like, please, Chelsea, my team is kind of trophyless. We need this prem. Yeah, it works sometimes. It works, the praying and everything. We are better than last season. We can say that, exactly. We are more consistent than last season as well. We are defensively more solid, and it feels like attack-wise, we are also more... We are less pragmatic most of the time. We cannot say all the time, but most of the time. I hate Arsenal fans that blame David Raya for the second goal. We didn't close him down. And it's like that knuckleball was nuts. Obviously, we didn't close him down. David Raya's vision at the time of the shot was blocked by two defenders as well. So Raya should not be blamed for that. It was a very good strike. It was a very good, very powerful knuckleball, pretty much. And the way the ball went through there as well, like, it is what it is. At the end of the day, yes, it made the game closer than it should have been, but we won, so who cares? We conceded 2 goals in a game only for the third time this season. We conceded 2 goals against Sunderland, a 2-2 draw, and against Villa in 2-1 loss. This was only the third time this season we conceded 2 goals. So as long as we can keep a clean sheet or concede 1 goal, we will be always within a shout of a win, because we have proven that our defense can hold up. I don't know if you... big up Handlebar, by the way. You don't know, but City, Liverpool, Chelsea, United all had 2 consecutive draws at the same time. It's like God wants our... Hopefully. We cannot concede any more goals this season if we want to break. Forget about that. Absolutely forget about Chelsea's defensive record. The difference from last season that we are now winning the games that we ended up drawing. Exactly. And that is the biggest difference, and that will be the difference if we, at the end of the season, are seeing the armpits of Martin Odegaard with the Premier League trophy in his hands. Us winning the games we drew last year. That is the biggest difference. Because last year we won 20 games. 20 games we won, right? And we drew 14. This season, we have won 15 games. So we are 5 games already away from the last year's win tally. So as long as we keep adding on top of those 20 wins more and more and more, we should be good. Exactly. We need a miracle to beat Chelsea's defensive record. And obviously, it's not going to happen. I'm absolutely not even talking about it and not getting away with that. Group is a really good player. Only 19 had 6 goals this season. He's decent. Let's see what happens long term. What's the result of this like down the road if we win the Prem? What's the result of... Wait, what? What is the result of this like if we win the Prem? That's way too early to tell. Way too early to tell. But obviously, if we win Premier League and we don't win Champions League this season, the more focus, obviously, the focus is going to remain on Premier League still because we want to repeat it, right? Do it back to back. But the focus also is going to shift towards Champions League at the same time. Because if we win Premier League, this will be the first trophy this team has won as a unit. So they will be there. They will have the know-how. They will have the experience how to do it. So they will be able to apply to that, to Carabao Cup, to FA Cup, and to Champions League. Because Arsenal's biggest issue, no matter how you look at it, is more or less the knockout stage games. Knockout stage games, and more specifically semifinals. Actually, did Arsenal had such a lead in other seasons in this? Yes, in 22-23 season, Arsenal were 8 points almost clear of Man City. We had that advantage. We have been more ahead. We have balled bigger lead than this. In 22-23 season, Arsenal were 8 points clear of Man City. And it was a bit later on. It was like game week something. Where is it? 22-23 season. 22-23 season. Match week. You're talking about 20, right? See, if you look at this. Here we go. Match week 2019. Arsenal. See, Arsenal are 5 points clear with a game in hand already. And in match week 20, if it could scroll to 21, we are again 5 points clear with a game in hand. We have been 8 points clear. There was a stage we were 8 points clear, by the way. So it's a very, let's just go to game week 23. See, it's already 10 points because we lost 2 games instantly. Like, we have been 8 points clear. There was a stage, and it's really, really rough. See, again, 5 points clear, but City have 2 games in hand. Like, we have been 5 to 8 points clear of Man City years before, and we screwed it up. How many wins does the Invincibles have? If I'm not mistaken, they won the league with 26 wins and 12 draws. 26 wins and 12 draws. So that's what? 30, 78. Yeah, with 90 points. We won the league with 90 points, 38 wins, and 26 wins and 12 draws. Is Merino better up front or in midfield? Personally, for me personally, he's better up front as well. I just think he's a little slow in the midfield. I used to back him in midfield, and now I see. Yeah, exactly. For me as well, he's better in front. I remember that was the 3 horses style race. Yeah. Big up, Godfrey. Big up. Yeah. Evening for me. Cameroon knocked us out. Yeah. Unlucky. Madness. It means Arsenal has room to screw. Yep, we have done it before, and that is the thing. Is though, at the time when we were 8 points clear, Saliba got injured, and we had to play Rob Holding at center back. And we all know how good Rob Holding was at the time, right? Now, if we look at this right now, the team has better depth, more experience, and better backups. So there is hope that Arsenal actually might have learned from their past mistakes and they won't repeat the mistakes they made at the time. There is that hope. But we'll see. We'll see. Time only will tell. Time only will tell, because at the moment, we are 20 games in, 15 wins, 3 draws, and 3 losses. So time only will tell. 18 games to go. 18. How long Arsenal can sustain this? Because Arsenal pretty much win every single game. Arsenal have dropped only 12 points. 12 points Arsenal have dropped out of 60 available, so it's not that bad. We need to buy Hinkapie so he can be backup left back. I like Miles Skelly, but he's been a bit rough this season buying Hinkapie. Though Hinkapie is on loan at Arsenal with the option to buy in the summer. It looks like Arsenal are most likely going to exercise that option and sign him full on. £45 million, right? Skelly, he's too raw. I would love to see Skelly in the midfield, but hey, I guess we are not going to see that at all. Because for Skelly, by default, in the youth academy, was number 6, number 8. As a left back, he started to play when he got promoted to the main team by Mikel Arteta. So Arteta said himself he envisions Skelly as a left back more than a midfielder. So I guess we have to make amends with that. But Hinkapie, by the looks of things, is going to become an Arsenal player. Obviously, it's in 6 months only. We have to wait 6 months. But based on how he's playing, how impressed by Arteta is by him and everything, it looks like it's going to happen. That general feeling around Arsenal at the moment and of the reports suggesting that it's most likely going to happen. 45 million. That's why you also got Hinkapie on loan with option to buy. It's an option, not an obligation as well, because you kind of didn't want to spend money a tiny bit in the summer at the time. But yeah, anyways, people, it's been great. It's Mikel confuses me. He says he's reaching out for someone in January, then doesn't get anyone. It's like he's afraid. Exactly. Yeah. It is like that. There are lots of these contradicting things in the press conferences and interviews he conducts in general. There are lots of those. If we sign another center back, Skelly can finally play in the midfield because we have Hinkapie and Calafiore as left back. Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, people, big up to you all. Thank you for being here. If you haven't already, do me the favor, smash the like button. Subscribe if you are new. See you all tomorrow, but for today, I'm going to be signing off. Tomorrow's Monday, new week, vacation over, need to start to grind again. So yeah, for today, I am off. Take care, stay safe, and see you soon. Peace.